When you are considering as a leader what exactly AI can do for you, it's very important to have a viewpoint or a thesis on what's actually going to become the industry norm as AI gets adopted. And I think it almost always boils down to two things. One is the pace of experimentation that you have internally going on. And the second is the cultural shift that we are talking about. The pace of experimentation internally actually is going to tell you what that future is going to look like and whether it's going to be managed in-house by you or by outsider vendors. Sometimes just having a wall against, no, we don't want to work with outside people because we have sensitive data or a zillion other very valid arguments stops you from actually getting to know what the world has moved on to, what the status quo is. When you work with vendors outside, you are going to get more clarity into what all is possible and you would be much better equipped to make decisions on whether you actually want to do it in-house or not. Because if someone can do it really well and they can take care of all the concerns, and most of these concerns today that you have around security, around reliability, they are going to become very small problems in the long run as AI adopts, as AI evolves. So just working with an external vendor is probably going to give you that clarity. The second thing is a cultural shift. It's strongly being believed today that as AI evolves, you will see more and more automations coming in. Leaders of tomorrow are not going to use AI the way they use tools today. Or probably for that matter, products themselves would not exist the way they exist today. You would be using these co-pilots that are coming in as in the same manner that you use your cup of coffee. It helps you think better. In the same manner you use your notepad. When you're into a meeting, you're taking a note, maybe fast forward 3-4 years. When you're into a meeting, you have a question, you just ask the co-pilot something and it's helping you plan better in real time. Chances are you would get into a meeting room to see what the AI has analyzed for you, what it is recommending as the next step, and just to approve or reject that. Chances are we would be much leaner as organizations. And this leader of tomorrow is someone who's playing with these AI tools today already, who's trying to work with these vendors and trying to understand how it's going to evolve. And unless you're open to it, you would just delay it, which means if you are a business leader who wants to be up to date with what's happening in AI, who wants to be relevant in a matter of a few years, who wants to adopt it, you would have to empower that cultural shift today. And that change starts from you. First, you need to change. Then your peers need to change, then your company needs to understand, and one step at a time, we can go through it. I'm working with a lot of companies, even for the analytics aspect, but outside of analytics as well, in terms of what their AI strategy is going to be. And if you think you have anything you just want to bounce off me, doesn't have to be about analytics. I'm always available for a chat. It's funny how when I was doing my analytics product, it looked like I was solving the biggest problem in the world. And then I realized that no one cares about it. What was the problem that I was solving? Analysts, and this is not a lie, analysts hate what they are asked to do. A business leader sitting in an air-conditioned office comes back, looks at a dashboard in a presentation, in a meeting, and then goes off saying, can I get a report on this? And then what is the analyst doing? If they're spending 10 hours on getting that report done, 5 of it is being spent on cleaning the data, processing things, stitching together tables, making sense of stuff, things that they don't want to do. If they could hire an intern, they would probably outsource the task to them. They can't, unfortunately, because analysts usually have a lot of workload and they do not have that much of a flexibility. So when we started implementing AI, we thought that, oh my God, we're going to change the world and the life of analysts, and business leaders are going to care about it. While it is true that what analysts spend time on is not what they should be spending time on, and they should rather be working on stuff that an actual human being should be doing in this age of AI, which is proprietary algorithmic research. Analysts should progress towards being data scientists, probably progress about being software developers. A business leader cares about the answer to their question. And most products, for a large part of the past few months, our product as well, when we were selling it, our value prop was, we make it easy for you to get answers to questions that you'd otherwise not be able to get in a shorter span of time, and which probably your analyst would never be able to give you, because as human beings, we think based on whatever we have seen historically. And that is something that the AI can very well do today if you have a semantic layer in place. I don't want to get into the technicalities here, but if you are a business leader listening in, you should try Cruncher.ai. If you've heard me talking, I very often say how the current setup that most companies and leaders and business folks have around data consumption and making decisions out of it is not optimum. But what does that really mean? See, traditionally, we have always looked at these dashboards, and we have seen a world where you're looking at a report, you figure out what has gone wrong, and then you do something about it. And that was probably the best possible outcome with the technical capabilities that we had up until now. Today, with co-pilots that can do very specific tasks for you, that world is probably a little behind you. Today, we are working on things where you start questioning, do you even really need to look at a dashboard? Because ultimately, what are we trying to do? We're trying to identify things that need our attention. Can that not be done by the co-pilot? Can the co-pilot not come and tell you what really needs attention in your business? Of course it can. But then what's really the next step? Can the co-pilot come and analyze the area that needs attention for you? Can it go and evaluate all the related pieces? Of course it can. And then can that system come and recommend solutions for you? Of course it can. And it doesn't stop there. It can also actually auto actions for you. Meaning, if you need to launch a new marketing campaign, if you need to send out a new message, if you need to change your product positioning, if you just need a PDF export of what really happened, if you need a chat, all of it is now possible through specialized co-pilots. And somehow, a lot of business leaders have a tough time visualizing what this world is going to look like. But chances are that in a few years, you're probably not going to look at dashboards at all. You're going to have these co-pilots that will come, act as your assistants, tell you what is really needing your attention, tell you what is the recommended course of action, and you just approve it. And that is precisely what Crunch is working on.